And welcome to the K-Files this morning. Hey, JP.
Good morning, Miss Sandra.
Good morning. So glad to have you with us this morning again. It's raining, y'all. Again. But that's okay. We'll get through it. But you know, I hope everybody's careful because in the mornings it's dark now when you leave early, and the lights were shining on the pavement, and it was hard to see at 6 o'clock this morning. I'm telling you, when I left home, I don't like driving when it's that dark. And I had a car in front of me. When they turned, they couldn't see. It was like lights were blinding them, and they just stopped. And I thought, oh gosh, I'm going to ram into this person. But I understood what they were doing because it was, you know, I was having a hard time too. So be careful. That's the main thing I'm trying to get across to you. And there is standing water because I came through some, and it will cause you to hydroplane. So be very careful when you're traveling this morning.
I've noticed that the older I get, and this started about 10 years ago, when it's raining or dark, especially if it's dark and raining, I can't see the lanes, the travel lanes, even with the reflective paint.
Yeah.
I find myself floating behind a car in front of me, hoping that they're in the travel lane.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of.
And I noticed that this morning in the rain.
Yeah. And we've had our share of it. So hopefully it will go away. I saw Carolina Beach. Woo! Did you see that?
That is crazy, yeah.
I couldn't believe it. But
they had a lot of flooding.
Well, it was wild because from my house down 64, even on Winston Avenue's where I hit the puddle as soon as I come off of 64. Well, when I got to Bimini Road, down Tom Betts Highway, almost to Westland, pavement was dry as a bone. Can you believe that? It's so spotty.
It is.
It's just so spotty. That's wild. But anyway, enough about weather right now. We will be talking to Fred a little bit later, but right now we're going to talk to you about some cases. And now, do we have a hot now today? I'm trying to think of anything that's happened during the week.
You know, something did happen this past week, but it was in Wilson. And I don't know any of the ins and outs of it. If anybody knows, feel free to call in. I only know what I have read online in Fighting Crime and through I believe it was the city of Wilson. But one brother last Sunday went to another brother's house. I believe one brother was 22 or 23. The other brother was around 20, and I might be off a year or two. But went and he killed his own brother in Wilson.
How can you do that?
I don't know what it was over, and then he took a shot at the stepdad running through the house trying to flee. That was several days ago, but that was bad situation.
Oh yeah, and then there was one in Weldon. What in the world? This guy was, did we talk about that last week? Or was that this week? Guy was running around terrorizing people in Weldon. Did you see that? Shot into somebody's apartment?
Seems like I did. I'm going to see if Fighting Crime has anything on this. There was a statement from Wilson Police Department on it several days ago.
There's a, this is just every day it seems like there's shootings and murders in our area. Here's one, 2 arrested on murder charges in while you're looking up the Wilson one. 2 arrested on murder charges in Halifax County. Halifax has had its share too. Charged with murder. More info will be released, but has not. A lot of information has not been released. This was on Fighting Crime this morning. That was just this morning. So these are some hot nails. And you know what I'm seeing a lot of? It's kind of scary.
What's that?
Missing persons.
Yeah.
Every time I turn around, somebody's missing. Here's a missing person right here. Beautiful girl, Goldsboro, this is in Goldsboro though, attempting to locate Caitlin Hodges, 29, last seen on July 18th in Goldsboro. According to her family, she was staying with her boyfriend in Goldsboro. However, she's from Crystal Lake. You know what? When there's a missing person, a young person like this is, usually 17, 18 above, it's always a boyfriend involved.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a boyfriend involved. What do they think they can get by with? Really?
They're not thinking clearly.
And what about Diddy?
That is wild,
Oh,
too.
this guy is horrible.
Yeah.
He is worse than horrible. Worse than horrible. What he was doing to people. And
He's going to prison.
I hope he stays there. Well, they said where they've got him right now, if he lives through it, he's going to be lucky. They've got him in solitary. Because they said somebody in that place is going, because that is known as one of the most heinous. And did you see where he offered $50 million for them to let him out?
Wow.
$50 million. He said, I'll give you $50 million to let me out. The judge said, nope, you're not getting out. How about that?
Now you'll find out what he knows on other people, because he will start spilling, he'll start telling everything he knows.
He has done some horrible things, keeping people locked up, using them for prostitution, all kinds of things.
Young people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found this article.
Okay, yeah.
This is from Fighting Crime. Byerly, and I guess Byerly Drive, Wilson.
Yeah, Byerly.
Byerly
Like that to
Drive, Wilson shooting overnight. This was in Wilson on 9/15/2024 at 10:39 p.m. Officers with the Wilson Police Department responded to 2706 Byerly Drive in Wilson in reference to a shooting into an occupied dwelling. Officers arrived on scene and found two subjects lying just inside the doorway. The two subjects were identified as brothers, Jared Charles Lucas of Wilson, who was 24, and Colby Ryan Lucas of Wilson, who was 23. The caller, James Tyrone Ham of Wilson, who was 58, stated that Jared was knocking at the front door. Colby went to answer the front door when several shots were fired. Ham, who was also the brother's stepfather, advised that Jared shot Colby and then began to fire at him as well as Ham retreated into the residence. Wilson County EMS arrived on scene and pronounced both subjects deceased. It was later determined that Jared died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and the investigation is ongoing. Now, first off, prayers to that family.
Yes, I mean, absolutely. That is bad.
That is bad. So, our hearts and thoughts and prayers and all go out to the family.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know the ins and outs of what was going on, what triggered this, but it has to be pretty bad for one brother to kind of snap and kill the other brother and attempt to kill the stepfather.
Yes, I mean that's terrible. Kill your own brother. I mean,
but I'd love to know the ins and outs of what was going on around that. If you know anything, I'd love to have you call and share what you know. Yeah,
please do. Call 406-6736. You can call Twin County Crime Stoppers. They will. This is a Wilson agency, but Twin County Crime Stoppers will get this to the investigating agency, which will be the Wilson Police Department or the Sheriff's Department, one of the two. So please, we need your help in this case. Also, I want to talk a little bit about a guest we're going to have this coming Monday on the morning show. We've got an expert on human trafficking coming here to do a presentation. I've talked to the sheriff about this, and it bothered me so bad when I talked to him a while back. I said, we don't have that much human trafficking here, but I read about it everywhere. He said,
You'd be surprised.
what do you mean we don't have it here? I said, we're talking so much about alcohol and drugs that we don't talk about that. And that's exactly what this expert said to me on the phone. He said, what is going on with kids below 18, you're going to be shocked. Mm-hmm. And they are placing, these people that are running these trafficking operations are placing a little, I don't know what it is, he's going to tell you all about it, on these people's clothes, and they don't know it. And they're tracking everywhere they go. They can't get away. They can't get away. Because when they try to get away, they get them.
And you know, look at the southern border, and we've all got differing opinions on the illegal immigration into the country. Just stop and think over the past 4 years, there have been tens of thousands of children that have crossed into the United States that have disappeared. Where are these children?
Exactly.
The government cannot tell you where these kids are at. And I hate to tell you, they are enslaved in sex trade.
I'm telling you, can you imagine what these kids go through? Oh, I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it.
Look at these people that escaped from somebody's bunker or somebody's basement, or they're living in a storage building in somebody's backyard, and they've been living there for years, and they escape, and they're like, I lived in this person's in this neighborhood and was used 2, 3, 4 times a day for sex against my will. And it happens. I mean, it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
It really is. And this expert is going to tell you it's right here. It's right here. Gold Rock is happening. There's a lot of it around the Wilson, he said. Wilson, our area, all around. I don't know what he's going to say, but he's going to come and make a presentation Monday on the morning show with Lim. And Wayne may be on too with them, but please watch Monday morning. This man is coming to, he's very busy. He Daryl Ainge is his name. He goes throughout the state. He is headquartered in Greenville. He goes throughout the state. He was leaving yesterday to go to Charlotte to make a presentation. So, I mean, he is trying to get this message out that it is alive and well in communities in North Carolina and all over the United States. I've
seen it in
really,
Middlesex.
really bad.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I've seen it in Middlesex. I've seen it at the rest area in Rocky Mount on I-95.
Wow.
I've seen it at the Rocky Mount Fairgrounds. I've seen it at the Wilson County Fairgrounds. I've seen it at the State Fair. I've seen it in the truck stops in Kenley.
How do you see it? Explain how do you know?
It's it's just you see women or very, very, very young girls carrying themselves in an inappropriate way, and you see them interacting with what I call a handler, like another guy or an older woman. They bounce back and forth. They'll go up to a guy and try to talk to him, and then they'll go back to their handler. Their handler is saying like, okay, try this guy, try these people. And the reason they have a handler is in case they get arrested, put in jail, they call their handler. Their handler gets them back out of jail.
Gets them out.
That's right. It's a sense of prostitution.
Oh my God. Well, now he did tell me you cannot, he said, and I'm also going to say, you cannot call a child under 18, if they're under 18, cannot use the word prostitution because they're not. He said they are being used and
It's rape.
Yes, and so he said that's not prostitution. It's beyond that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting presentation. So I hope everybody will watch. He's going to come on early, so because he has to go to other places to make presentations. He's very passionate about the topic. I was referred to him by a professor that teaches criminal justice. So
Years ago, I went to a thing in Wilmington where a federal motor carrier come in and did a presentation very similar to what's going to be here Monday. And they actually used truckers to move these women around the country, like to catch a ride from Florida to Chicago or to New York, and they're constantly, and they were teaching the patrol how to identify or how to talk to these girls to get them away from the driver, to interview them, to see if we could pick up on any cues that maybe they were being held against their will.
Wow.
Bad stuff.
Okay, well, on that note, we're going to take a break. Come back, we'll talk about some local cases. All right, welcome back. And I think JP is going to tell us about an event going on.
We've got two coming up. We've got one tonight. It's a meet and greet with Alan Chester, Lisa Barnes, and Sue Leggett. We'd love the public to come out tonight at 6 o'clock at the Nashville Exchange, 229 West Washington Street in Nashville.
That's right across from the courthouse.
That's right, and it's a free event. All are welcome. There's going to be refreshments served. If you're on the fence and you don't know where your candidates stand, this is the perfect opportunity to come out, meet Senator Lisa Barnes, Representative Chester, Commissioner Sue Leggett, talk with them about where they stand on the issues. You know, Nash County's got a lot of things, facing them. We've got some issues with water, sewer. We've got issues with education. We got a brand new school that's about to be built. We're trying to figure out where to put it.
When will they figure that out?
I feel like they probably have several locations kind of in mind.
Okay.
But, the school board is probably going to put a commission together to kind of make recommendations and all that kind of things. But
so it's a while in coming. The decision is a while in coming then.
I think we'll know between now and Election Day on a site.
Okay.
I feel like it needs to be in the Stanhope community for it to fit. You don't want bus traffic stretching. You want to keep it as close to the senior high as possible.
Sure.
But it needs to be in that community.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know they do need a new school. I know Brittany went to middle school and high school, Southern Nash, and that school definitely needs an overhaul or needs something, and it's going to turn into an elementary.
It's going to be an elementary school, and I'm assuming Southern Nash Elementary or something like that.
Well, I think they've grown so much, haven't they? That they've grown out. The middle school has kind of outgrown that school, haven't they?
They have.
Yeah. So anyway, the event's tonight, and we had fun yesterday. Alan Chester was on almost the whole show yesterday as Roger's co-host. I usually co-host with Roger, and I told Alan, I said, I will yield the floor to you for the whole show. So because he's the representative, and he needed to give an update, which he promised he would do when he was elected, and he has done that. He comes periodically and gives an update on what's going on. And surprisingly, we had a lot of calls that people were calling in and asking about the marijuana, what he thought about the marijuana. It was legalized in Cherokee. They said, do you think it's coming to, that was one of the main points of yesterday morning that one of the callers brought up. Do you think it's coming to, North Carolina, the rest of North Carolina?
I'm curious, what did he say?
He said that Tim Moore normally does not put things on the floor unless bring it up on the floor unless he knows he has the votes. He said he's let it lay. He said, so that tells me he don't have the votes. So evidently it's going to lay there. And then they ask about the casino. Ask about the casino. And
what did
he
say about
said,
that?
well, Tim Moore, he said leadership. He didn't call the speaker's name, but Speaker Tim Moore will be out in December probably. So he said leadership is not ready to bring that back up.
Thing about marijuana, 27-year law enforcement officer, right and wrong, former scoutmaster. I mean, I am a right and wrong kind of guy. I believe marijuana is a gateway drug. I believe it leads to other things. And I was adamant that against it until 3 years ago, one of my best friends was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And it changed my mind.
Well, that's for medicinal purposes.
Yeah. It changed.
Anything past that, I'm not for it.
That changed my mind. I don't think you should be able to get in the car and drive to the liquor store and buy some marijuana. I don't believe that.
A vending machine like they
Absolutely
have in
not.
Cherokee.
But now, my friend dying, it changed my opinion as far as for medicinal purposes. I saw a difference in my friend.
Well, and I can agree with that. I mean, anything that's going to prolong your life, or if you have cancer.
It made his situation, clearly it relaxed him.
Wow.
But I would argue that so does morphine and other things like that are illegal for recreational use. But it opened my eyes to medicinal purposes of marijuana.
Yeah. Sure.
As far as the casino goes, die-hard conservative, red-blooded Republican, as you know, I am. People down my way that are against the casino, that are outspoken opponents of it, I see them go in and buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, you lose
how
me.
can
You lose me.
Me too.
With your argument.
Yep.
At that point.
Absolutely.
I go to Cherokee. I've been to Cherokee maybe twice in my life. I've been to Vegas once. We go on cruises. Do I go into casino? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Do I gamble like crazy? No, I do not. I work too hard for my money. If there was a casino in Rocky Mount, would I go? Probably to see it.
Yeah.
Would I go regularly? No, I work too hard for my money.
Yeah.
People that make the argument that casinos will drain or take advantage of poor people, I got news for you. If you're concerned about that, they're already buying lottery tickets.
What about the liquor store?
Same thing.
I mean,
same thing.
Does that take advantage? You know how many people are going in there and buying liquor, and maybe they don't spend that amount of money on their kids because they bought 5 bottles of liquor? What's the difference?
A few weeks ago, I had a friend of mine say, look, I'm tired of hearing rumors. I'm tired. Let's drive to Portsmouth, Virginia and see the casino.
Yes.
I said, okay, let's go. I went, and I was impressed.
Really?
Yes, I was.
You didn't see any crime?
No.
And Portsmouth, now Portsmouth is a crime-ridden city.
Well, I'm telling you, I actually talked. I made a point to talk to the girls that walk you through the front door. I made a point to talk to when you walk in, there's like maybe 10 restaurants inside the casino that wrap around the wall. We eat at like a little burger joint inside of the casino. I talked to them. They said that by working in that restaurant inside the casino, it pays about twice what it does working at a burger joint there in town.
Just a local burger joint.
So it pays twice as good, according to her. She said the tips were, more than what she made at other like venues in town. Clean. I didn't see any trash. Everything looked nice, new. Now, again, do I want this across the street from my home? No, I do not. But I got news for you. Driving around downtown Rocky Mount, this would be I'd rather see this building and this parking lot and this landscaping and this shrubbery than a lot of what I see in downtown Rocky Mount.
Right. Boarded up buildings.
I mean, I'm just being real. I mean, I would, and look, bring it to Middlesex, bring it to Bailey.
Yeah, well, that's what Ronald Krappus is saying. If y'all don't want it, we'll take it.
I'm just being real.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Well, I just think that it could, I just don't buy into the crime thing, that it's going to.
There's more crime at your local Dollar General.
Yeah.
There's more crime at your local Dollar General in downtown Rocky Mount than is at this casino.
You're exactly right. Do you know the Dollar General closed their self-serve things because they were stealing so bad? that they just closed them. Did you know that? Okay, so there is more crime. The Dollar Generals have been robbed. The casino's not even here, and don't you know that the security at a casino,
Oh, that's something else.
beef
It was
it up.
everywhere.
Yeah, they beef it up. I mean, I'm telling you.
Well, they have a vested interest because they don't want anyone to be robbed on premises.
No.
They don't want a crime to occur
They
on
don't.
premises because it's going to scare you and it's going to hurt their business model. Parking lot, let me tell you something. It was so lit that it almost looked daylight.
Wow. I'm going to have to take a trip to either there or the one.
The reason we
With
didn't
the
go to the
tent.
other one, and that's why I didn't want to go to the other one, because I wanted to really see the finished product.
Yes, because the other one is still a tent.
This is a nice property. It's
Roger
it's high
Taylor,
end and it's
that
nice.
does Wednesdays, he gambles a lot, and he went to Portsmouth not long ago, and he said, I loved it. He said it was so nice, just like you said. It was so nice. Excuse me. Anyway.
The only thing I didn't like is the smoke. I don't smoke. I grew up in a household where my parents smoked. My
So you can
grandparents smoked.
smoke inside.
Oh my God, it was terrible.
Really?
It was terrible. That's
Yeah, I
the
wouldn't like
only thing I did not like. But I will tell you this, they've got an exhaust system that's going on that is so powerful, you don't see smoke at all in it. You can actually feel a draft because it's pulling so strong. But I don't like smoke.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't keep me from going back if I wanted to.
Right. Well, hopefully, maybe it will be brought back up, because if we're going to have this interchange, they're going to want something. We're still trying to get those outlets, and the outlets at Smithfield turned us down a few years ago. Said, no, we're not going to do it. Well, if we get this, it's going to spur them to want to come, and other things to want to come. So, anyway, we hope that something's on the horizon with that. But Alan said, gave us an update, and we appreciate him coming. And we had Sue Leggett on, too. We had her on Monday.
How was that?
That was good. She just, she talked about the EMS. Lynn brought the EMS up to her and said, she said, we have ambulances in place. We move them around to where they're needed. And she said, management is moved around where we need it. I kind of disagreed a little bit with that. But anyway, she talked about the EMS, she talked about DSS, the new director, and how and I haven't met the new director. I'd like to. I'm going to make it a point to, but I'm hearing good things about the new director. And then she talked about the sheriff, a little bit about the pay for the sheriff's department. But anyway, I thought she did a good job. So anyway, we've had some of the local candidates on. Freddie Howell will be on Monday as well. So we got Monday's going to be packed. We got Freddie Howell, we've got the human trafficking guy on. So Monday's going to be a packed morning show. So anyway, but we are having the candidates. So listen to them.
That's right.
Make an informed decision when you go to the polls.
Yeah.
We don't have these candidates on just so they can hear themselves talk. We want you to listen to them and see what they stand for, so that, as I said, you can make an informed decision when you vote.
Exactly. Again, I'm 50 years old. I've only voted straight party twice in my life. I'm one of these people that I might identify Republican, but I take the time to research candidates, where they stand on the issues that matter to me. And I would encourage everybody to do this. Do not blindly vote D or R. Do your homework, do your research, and vote for what's right for you and your family. That's what I do.
That's exactly right, and that's what you need to do, and vote. Well, if you're not going to vote the right way, don't go.
That's
But
right.
Anyway.
And look, when you're going down that ballot, if you get to a candidate or an office that you don't know, please, people, skip it. It's okay. Skip it.
Yeah.
Go to the next one, because just as sure as you vote for one of these candidates that you know absolutely you're going to be voting for the wrong one, skip it and go on to the next one. That machine will still count your ballot. It'll count it.
And also, local elections, please know, local elections are so important.
They are.
They, like you just said, these are people that affect your lives every day, your day-to-day lives. Local candidates. So, anyway, make sure you vote locally. So anyway, we got to go to break, get some weather, see how long this rain's going to stay, and we'll be right back. Okay, and welcome back to the K-Files. We have been full of information this morning, just lots of local stuff going on. Sometimes we want to talk about some of the recent stuff instead of some of the, every week we try to bring you the unsolved murders from the past, and next week we'll be back on it. But if everybody remembers the Rex Lynn Kill case, this was a couple of years ago, murdered his wife up in Momire.
That's right.
They lived in Momire. He murdered his wife. And it's still believed to this day, I believe, that he murdered his first wife, but no need to pour salt on the wound. Some things happened. He went to prison, and I heard that he would not take his medication. When he first went in there, they said he's not doing well because he won't take his medications. He had kidney issues. He had some kidney issues, and I don't know what other issues he had going on, but this was when the case was in court. And the day of the case, I remember finding out that he was not doing well at all. They didn't even know if he would be able to finish the trial. So, anyway, do you have a report of what has happened recently?
Yes, ma'am. This is what was reported on Fighting Crime 4 days ago. Rexford Lynn Kill, who was sentenced to 31 years for killing his wife in Nash County in 2019, has died in prison. Lynn Kill died September 7th, 2024 in prison. March 8th, 2019, Lynn Kill was convicted of, he killed his wife, Deanna Kill, then dumped her body in Edgecombe County, and a maintenance worker found her. Kill fled to Arizona and was later captured before crossing the Mexican border.
I remember all that, don't you?
I do.
Vividly.
Yeah. It seems just like yesterday. It doesn't seem like that's almost 5 years ago.
I just said 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow, the time went by.
And it's fall of almost 5 years ago. That is.
I guess I was thinking about the trial because it took it a couple of years to go to trial, as does every other case. But yes, he was not in good health. And it was believed his first wife. They said he reported that when he called the authorities with his first wife, her name was Bess Kill. She fell, he said, and hit her head on the steps. It was ice on the ground, and slipped and fell. And to this day, people believe that is not what happened. But that was never investigated. I mean, why investigate it when he was going to be, put up for 31 years? So, anyway, he has now passed away in jail because he was not in good health. I know when he went to trial, they said he was not in good health. So, anyway,
and looking at his pictures on Fighting Crime, then versus now. His pictures. It's a noticeable difference in his health appearance.
Yes, absolutely. So anyway, well, maybe we've got time for one case we can do.
Okay. This case here is Julius Lee Brinson. Julius Lee Brinson. This case is from August 17th, 2014. Around 9:45 p.m., Halifax County deputies responded to 52 Verna Lane in Enfield regarding a shooting incident. After arriving, deputies located Mr. Julius Lee Brinson just inside the doorway, deceased from an apparent gunshot wound. The information provided at the time of the incident was that 4 unidentified black males had kicked the door to the residence to rob the occupants of the home.
Wow.
That sounds very, very similar to, where the older people were playing cards here a few years ago, and the door got kicked in and everybody got robbed and executed.
Absolutely.
Sounds very, very similar. Again, August 17th, 2014, 9:45, Halifax County, 52 Verna Lane. Mr. Julius Lee Brinson was found dead from a gunshot wound.
2014. If you know anything, please call the number on the screen. You might can get some cash money. We just had a case that was solved that we'll be talking about a little bit more, but they got cash money. Were handed cash money within a couple of days after they talked with authorities. And we don't know, JP and I do not know who the informants are, who the people that give the tips, who you are. We do not know. it is anonymous. So please come forward if you know anything. There's so many ways to do it. You can call 977-1111, Twin County Crime Stoppers. You can call, you can do text to tip if your case is with the Rocky Mount Police Department. You can call the number on the bottom of the screen for our regular tip number. So there's all kinds of ways to do this. So if you know something, say something. Give closure. One of our main things is to get people off the street and to give closure to families. So if you know anything about the Julius Lee Brinson case, happened in Enfield, Verna Lane, I don't know where that is, but if you know Julius Brinson, I'm sure you know where Verna Lane is. So we would appreciate you coming forward with some tips to the Sheriff's Department. Okay, next week we will start talking about a very big, high-profile case that we've talked about for quite some time. And we have had some tips on this case.
We sure have. I've had folks call me on my phone at home about this case. This is a red hot case. This is a case that I'm actually asked about down around Bailey and Middlesex, even though it's a Rocky Mountain case. It's a very high profile case.
Jeff Cobb. And people around your area know him because they're Nash County. He was a Nash County commissioner. So he's well known, was well known. But anyway, we'll start off with that next week. When we start talking about our cases, we'll start with him. So join us next week and find out what we have to say about the Jeff Cobb case. Okay, well, thank you for watching the K-Files today. Thank you, JP.
Yes, ma'am.
For being with me again, and make it a great day, everybody.